Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this KVPY question paper discussion session. And today we are going to discuss the KVPY SA 2019 paper. Specifically, I'll be talking about the biology section of it. Great. Great. So I can see people, Akhil, Karthik, Agrim. Welcome, everyone. Let's start this session. We're a little bit late, but we'll cover that up. Great. So moving to the very first question of part 1 biology. Now, part 1 is the first part, and every question contains 1 mark. Okay. The first question is question number 46. So first part has 15 questions from 46 to 60. And then second part, in which every question is of 2 marks, contains 5 questions, right? So let's begin with the very first question, that is question number 46. This question says, which one of the following is a correct statement about primate evolution? Okay, yes, I can see option C. So Akhil, Agrim, Susweta, great. You all are correct. Okay, great. It's good to see that Akhil is even telling me that they have evolved from hominine. Very good. So we had previously discussed this, and I showed you a table which had the detailed flow chart showing the human evolution. In fact, that was the flow chart of primate evolution. Great. So anyway, we will discuss this question, which is the correct option about the primate evolution. The first option says chimpanzees and gorillas evolved from macaques, right? Now, many of you may not be knowing what macaques are. So let me tell you that macaques, this word, macaque, okay, let me use some other color, or maybe red. Macaque, it is a type of monkey, okay? And since we are talking of macaques, let me also tell you that macaques were the monkeys from which RH factor was discovered, right? Macaque monkey से ही हम लोगों ने पहली बार RH type of antigen को find out किया था. Yeah, very good, Akhil. Okay. So just keep in mind कि RH कई बार question पूछा जा सकता है. RH antigen, blood antigen, was discovered from the macaques. है ना? मैकैक्स के भी एक टाइप होते हैं जिनको हम लोग बोलते हैं rhesus monkey. Okay, anyway. The second option says humans and chimpanzees evolved from gorillas. Okay. The third says human, chimpanzees, and gorillas evolved from a common ancestor. And the fourth D option says humans and gorillas evolved from chimpanzees. Great. Let's see. देखो, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ है कि chimpanzees से हम लोग evolve हुए हैं. It is not the case, right? In fact, there was a common ancestor, okay? Common ancestor, okay? That gave rise to both the humans, chimpanzees, and even the gorillas, right? The great apes. So the option number C is correct one, okay? Now, if you people want to have a better knowledge about it, what you have to do, go back to the previous video where we have already discussed this question paper, and there I have showed a flow chart as I mentioned earlier. Have a look on that flow chart. That will give you a good idea about primate evolution, how the primates evolved from tree shrew-like mammals, okay? How these old world monkeys, new world monkeys, and from that how the apes, gorillas, orangutans, humans, how they evolved, right? So just have a look. It's good to see those flowcharts so that any kind of questions coming or related to the primate evolution, you will be able to solve. Great? Okay. So with that, let's move to the next question. Okay, so the second question, that is question number 47, says the crypts of Lieberkühn. Okay, the crypts of Lieberkühn are found in which one of the following parts of human digestive system, right? And the options are A, esophagus या फिर oesophagus. ओके अलग अलग कन्वेंशन है, तो आप इसको किसी भी तरह से प्रोनाउंस कर सकते हैं. इनफैक्ट जो स्पेलिंग होती है वो भी थोड़ी अलग होती है. कहीं कहीं पे ओ है, कहीं पे ओ नहीं है. सो ओ ई एस ओ, ओइसोफेगस, और मे बी ई एस ओ से स्टार्ट होगा, देन ईसोफेगस. ओके, बोथ आर करेक्ट. स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन, स्टमक और रेक्टम. ग्रेट, फटाफट कमेंट कीजिए. ग्रेट, आई कैन सी. ओके, Akhil, Agrim, everybody is saying B, that is small intestine. Great. Let me put a twist to this question, है ना? Before that, let me tell you कि आप सब लोगों का answer सही है. The correct answer is small intestine. But what if I ask, in which part of a small intestine do we find crypts of Lieberkühn? Which part? Like small intestine is divided into 3 parts. You all know, right? Duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Now, tell me, in which of these 3 parts do we find crypts of Lieberkühn? Villi? No, 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 that is not in the option. Sorry, Akhil, Sushweta, and somebody named Online Edu. So, what should be the correct answer? Please pay close attention and then let me know. In तीनों में से क्या option होना चाहिए? If the question was, in which of the following small intestine parts do we find crypts of Lieberkühn? Okay, there is question. Response from Akhil, Priyansu. It is found in jejunum and ileum. Beta spelling sahi kijiye ileum ki, because that is very much important. Okay. Duodenum. Great. I'm waiting for others. So what should be the correct option? Well, yeah, Agrim and Akhil. Okay. What's wrong? Yeah. Agrim and Akhil are giving me the right answer. What's wrong? Just a minute. No, that's not a problem. ठीक है. What's wrong? आ गया? क्यों नहीं आ रही है? Yes. Okay, so Akhil and Agrim has given me the right answer. The correct option for that is in all parts of the small intestine, that is duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, we find the crypts of Lieberkühn. Let me also tell you one more thing here, that there is another gland called Brunner's gland. Okay? And Brunner's gland is only found in the case of duodenum. Okay? Brunner's gland is only found in case of duodenum. Okay? Only in the duodenum area of the small intestine, but crypts of Lieberkühn in all parts of the small intestine. Great? Okay, very good. So let's move to the next question. That is question number 48. Question number 48. So this question says, removal of pancreas impairs breakdown of. What should be the answer? Lipids and carbohydrate only, lipids and proteins only, lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates, or option number D, proteins and carbohydrates only. What should be the answer? Okay, great. So I can see comments coming in, and right. Akhil is saying C, online edu C, Sushweta C, Agrim, Karthik, everybody is saying C. Okay, so C is lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. So all the three, right? Yes, very good. Shashakt. Yeah, so all of you are right. It is option C. When you impair pancreas, what will happen? See, impaired pancreas, right? It is impaired. It means it is not functioning properly. Not functioning properly, right? This means what? This means that it is not going to produce proper pancreatic juice, right? And you know pancreatic juice have all the digestive enzymes. It has proteases, correct? It has proteases like trypsinogen. It has proteases like chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidase, correct? Plus it has amylases. It has lipases. Plus it has nucleases, correct? And therefore the pancreatic juice is called, yeah, so, okay, great. So Akhil is saying that pancreas is responsible for digestion of carbohydrate, protein, lipids, fat, nucleic acid, everything. Correct, very good, Akhil. Okay, so pancreatic juice is a complete digestive juice, right? Because it has enzymes for the digestion of all kind of biomacromolecules, right? Proteins, carbohydrate, lipids, and nucleic acids. Great. So the correct option is option C, that is lipids, proteins, and carbohydrate. Very good. Good to see. Okay, so let's move to the next question. The next question is question number 49. And this question says, microscopic examination of a blood smear reveals an abnormal increase in the number of granular cells with multiple nuclear lobes. Okay. Which one of the following cell types has increased in number? अच्छा, एक चीज़ देखना, particularly, whenever there is this question with lengthy lines, है ना, बहुत ज़्यादा description होता है जिनमें, mostly ना students देख के ही डर जाते हैं, अरे ये क्या पता नहीं कितना बड़ा question होगा. But most often ना ये descriptive जो questions होते हैं वो बहुत easy होते हैं. All you need to, you have to understand the question. बहुत easy होते हैं, है ना? And mostly the answer is, you know, hidden somewhere in the language, right? You just have to pick up the clues. देखो, यहाँ पे हम लोग clues लेते हैं इसका. The clue here is, or maybe green. See, it is saying with multiple nuclear lobes. ये clue है यहाँ पे, है ना? They are talking about the blood smear. They are talking about the blood cells. But in all those blood cells, they are going to talk about a particular cell. And this cell is someone which has multiple nuclear lobes, right? And then the question comes, which one of the following cell types has increased in number, right? So they are actually asking which is this cell type, right? Yeah, na? Okay. I can see comments coming in, right? We will talk about that. And the options given is lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, and thrombocytes. Great. Chalo. So I can see everybody is commenting for C, right? And C is what? Neutrophils. Okay. We will look at that, whether these options are right or wrong. So there is online edu, he is saying B, monocytes. Okay. Let us see. Dekho, when we are talking about the blood cells, blood cells are of three types. One is RBC, correct? The second one is WBC. And there is third cell, which is irregular. And this is called platelet. या इसी को हम लोग बोलते हैं thrombocytes. Right? We all know it. Okay. Now within WBC, if you see, this WBC is of two types. What are these? One WBC, which has granular cytoplasm. Okay. And one which is not granular. तो हम इसको बोलते हैं agranular. Okay. Now, they also have the nucleus, but their nucleus can be of different types. Great, we will talk about that. Further, this granulocytes, इनको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Granulocytes, क्योंकि इनके cytoplasm में क्या है? Granules है, it is of three types. This has bilobed nucleus, this has maybe three-lobed, 2 to 3-lobed, and this has multiple-lobed nucleus. Can you see? Now, this two-lobed is known as acidophil or eosinophil. Okay, this is basophil, and this is neutrophil, right? When we talk about agranulocytes, they are also of two types, monocytes and lymphocytes. So this is monocyte and this is lymphocyte. Now the answer is clear, right? Multiple nuclear lobes, where do you find? In case of neutrophils. The correct answer is neutrophils, not B. Great. Okay, so Sweta is asking whether these granules are made up of proteins or not. Obviously, these granules have proteins, but they do not mainly contain protein. Instead, they have certain acidic or basic proteins and certain minerals, okay, which leads to the binding or staining by particular nature of dye. That could be acidic dye or basic dye, okay. If the granules are such that they bind to acidic dye, so they get stained by the acidic dyes and will appear red, okay. And because of their affinity with acidic dye, they are known as acidophils, okay. One example of such acidic dye is eosinophil. That's why these cells are also known as eosinophils. समझ में आ रहा है सुस्वेता? I hope that is clear now. Similarly, the granules or the cells which have such granules which have affinity for basic dye, they will get stained by the basic dye, turn blue, and they are called basophils. One who gets stained by both acidic and basic, they will appear yellow, and now they are called neutrophils. Great. Basic. Clear? Great. So I hope it is now clear. Let's move to next question. Okay. So next is question number 50. Okay, question number 50, and this question is about a genetic phenomena, right? So it is a question from genetics. Now, go through this question. Which one of the following genetic phenomena is represented by the blood group AB? Great. And there are options like codominance, dominance, overdominance, and semi-dominance. You know? Now, let me tell you, it's a good question, but the options are pretty straightforward. है ना? ऐसे हैं कि somebody who have just gone through biology, okay, they can easily eliminate. है ना? क्योंकि देखो इसमें से जो कुछ ऑप्शंस इन्होंने दिया ना, सेमी डोमिनेंस, ओवर डोमिनेंस, है ना, ये जो दो वर्ड हैं ये तो 12th की बायोलॉजी में हम लोग पढ़ते ही नहीं है, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली यू हैव नॉट इवन लिसन और हर्ड अबाउट दिस टर्म्स, तो ये ऐसे ही you can rule out dominance and codominance, you know, right? I can see the comments coming in. Everybody is saying A, okay, that is codominance, and Akhil is saying codominance and multiple allelism. Great. Okay, very good. So every one of you is correct. It is a case of codominance. Now, the question arises is, what is codominance and how it is a case of codominance, right? देखो, when we are talking of AB blood type, है ना, तो AB blood type होता कैसे है, पहले वो आप समझ लो. Suppose this is RBC. This is RBC. It is your red blood cell. Now, on these RBCs, there are certain proteins, glycoproteins on the membrane of these RBCs. Okay, there are glycoproteins, and these glycoproteins are something like this. Maybe here is one glycoprotein, okay, another glycoprotein. These all are the glycoproteins. Great. Now, these glycoproteins are known as RBC antigens. These are known as RBC antigens. And these RBC antigens can be of two types. This can be of two types, A and B, correct? But ये जो glycoprotein है, which is behaving as the RBC antigen, this can be of three types, small I, A, and B. Right? Now, small I has no antigens. AG मैं लिख रहा हूँ antigen के लिए, but A and B behave as antigens, and there are different genes for it. So I, A और B, ये जो antigens हैं ना, इनके लिए कुछ protein genes हैं responsible. इसके लिए responsible है small I gene, इसके लिए responsible है capital I A, और इसके लिए responsible है capital I B. Okay, so if a cell has both IA and IB, in that case, both these alleles are expressed. Both these alleles are expressed, so there will be A and there will be B too. So in case here could be A, B, A, B. So both the alleles are expressed. यानी कि देखो dominance में क्या होता है? You have already learned about the Mendel's law, the first law of Mendel's inheritance, that is law of dominance, that if there is a heterozygous condition, देखो यहाँ पे, this is what? Heterozygous condition, both the alleles are different, then one allele is expressed, the other is not. That is the case of dominance. But here what is happening? Both of them are expressing themselves. It means दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो दैट इज अ केस ऑफ कोडोमिनेंस. ग्रेट, आई होप ये बहुत ही क्लियर है. ओके, लेट्स मूव to the next question. Great. The now next question is question number 51, and this is about the mode of speciation. Hana? Mode of speciation. Now, have a look at this question. It says the mode of speciation mediated by geographical isolation is referred to as. What should be the correct answer? Okay, I can see the comments coming in. I'm waiting for more comments. Let's see. X goes back. No. Okay. So I'm waiting for comments. Okay, great. So comments are coming in. Akhil is saying B, Sushweta B, Agrim B. So you guys are saying allopatric speciation. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Allopatric speciation. I'm putting a mark on it. Great. See, without much of suspense, let me tell you that B is the correct option here. Why? See, when we are talking of speciation, है ना? Speciation होता क्या है? Speciation is creation of new species from the existing species, right? Creation of new species from existing species, and it occurs mainly due to the reproductive isolation, right? So speciation occurs due to reproductive isolation. Reproductive isolation of two subpopulation of a species. ठीक है, तो एक species के मान लो कि दो अलग अलग सब populations हैं, and if both of these populations are somehow separated, reproductively isolated, then there is a chance that they can grow into two different species, or maybe one remains as it is in the same species and the other may evolve into another species, right? This is how mostly evolution work. Now, how this reproductive isolation is carried out, okay, that is going to make a difference on the nature of evolution, right? So this reproductive isolation can be brought by a geographical barrier, or it can be brought by some social, behavioral, okay, hormonal, temporal barriers, right? What are these? We will be discussing later, not today in this session. Great. We are today only going to discuss about the geographical barrier. So if this reproductive isolation is brought by geographical barrier, okay, geographical barrier, then we call it allopatric. Then we call it allopatric, okay? And if not, अगर geographical barrier को छोड़ करके और कोई barrier है, then we call it sympatric. Okay, great. So very good, Akhil. So answer is allopatric speciation is the correct option. Okay, great. Let's move to the next question. This is question number 52, and this question is about respiration. Okay, now this question says which one of the following metabolic conversion requires oxygen. Okay, number 1, glucose to pyruvate, glucose to CO2, and ethanol, glucose to lactate, or D, glucose to CO2 and H2O. Okay, Akhil is saying aerobic, very good. Have a look and do let me know. फटाफट आप लोग comment कीजिए, do let me know what should be the correct answer, and if possible do also let me know the probable explanation for that. Okay, if you have picked up the particular option, why so? Okay, change this whole thing. I need Yeah, so I can see comments coming in, and mostly you are saying D, right? So most of the people are saying D, that is glucose to CO2 and H2O. The explanation given by Achilles in anaerobic respiration, O2 is not required, whereas in in anaerobic it is not required, whereas aerobic oxygen is must. Yeah, correct. Correct. Right? Now, Akhil, let me ask one more thing. Glucose to pyruvate, right? Glucose to pyruvate. This process is what? This is glycolysis. Glycolysis is a step of aerobic respiration too, correct? So, will oxygen be required here or not? Will it be required here? Okay, so what should be the correct option is D, that is correct, है ना? और आप लोगों ने जो बोला है वो बिल्कुल सही है, correct? So glucose to pyruvate is glycolysis, and that is an anaerobic step. उसमें कुछ नहीं होता है. Now this pyruvate can have 3 fates, and that is going to be different in different kind of respiration. If it is anaerobic, right, it can be changed into ethanol and CO2. This will be ethanolic fermentation, or could be in lactic acid. This is lactic acid fermentation. Okay, ये दोनों क्या है? Fermentation है. And if this pyruvate goes into the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria, it will be oxidized into CO2 in presence of oxygen, of course. Okay, and this is called aerobic respiration. Very good. Impressive. So option D is the correct answer. Great. Okay, so I can see most of you have given, all of you have given the right answer. Let's move on to the next question. And this question is question number 53, that is, where are the proximal and distal convoluted tubules located within the human body? Okay. Options are adrenal cortex, adrenal medulla, renal cortex, or renal medulla. Now, this is a very good question. If you have a deeper knowledge of the nephrons, then only you will be able to answer. So I'm waiting for your comments. Do let me know. Yeah. So what is the options coming in? So Shweta is saying, I don't remember this. Okay, no worries. Akhil is saying Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT. Okay, and then Agrim is saying, I remember many answers as this is discussed before. Okay, and it is just 10th NCERT. Yeah, it is just 10th NCERT. So the question is, proximal and distal convoluted tubules are located within the human body. Where? Adrenal cortex, medulla, renal cortex, yeah, renal medulla. See, if you look at the structure of nephron, nephron is something like this. Correct? And it flows something like this, correct? And if we look at the different parts of it, this is the Bowman's capsule, okay? And in the Bowman's capsule, there is this afferent efferent arteriole, glomerulus, afferent arteriole, efferent arteriole, this is glomerulus. This is Bowman's capsule, just a minute. This is Bowman's capsule. The red one is glomerulus. And these two together forms the renal corpuscle or the Malpighian body. Correct? This convoluted part is known as PCT. This is loop of Henle. This another convoluted part is called DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and this is CT, collecting tubule. Remember? So this is the structure of what? A nephron. The question is not giving you the option of nephron, correct? What it is asking, whether it is in the cortex or medulla. Now, let me tell you that this upper area is cortex and lower is medulla. Okay? So Bowman's capsule, PCT, DCT are in cortex. Only the loop of Henle is present in medulla. Okay? Great. So this is your structure. But the question remains is whether it is in the adrenal or in the renal cortex. Correct? Whether it in the adrenal cortex or renal cortex. Now let me tell you, adrenal cortex, ये किसका part है? Adrenal gland का. ये किसका part होगा? Adrenal gland. Okay? And nephron is found in the kidney. Right? And kidney has two parts, renal cortex and renal medulla. Correct? So the correct answer is renal cortex. I can see all of you are right. Very good. Good to see that. Yes, structure bhi thoda sa dhyan mein rakhna aap log. Why? There could be questions from nephron because it is both in the syllabus of class 10th and 11th. Okay? So they can little bit, take a forward leap from the syllabus of class 10th and may ask some deeply rooted questions from human physiology, especially from the nutrition, respiration, excretion, and circulation, because these are the four systems that you already have studied in class 10th. Great? Great. Okay. Okay, great. Now, let's move to the next question. So this next question is again very interesting question from the genetics, okay? And this question is altogether at different level, okay? It is at different level. It is talking about something called genetic interactions, okay, or gene interactions. The question itself is lengthy. Let us read that. In a diploid organism, when locus X is inactivated, okay, when locus X is inactivated. So let me draw. So we are talking about a locus X, and when it is inactivated, I'm putting a cross sign on it, then what we find is locus, then transcription of locus Y is triggered. Okay, so we have again another locus Y. Okay, so when this is inactivated, the locus Y is triggered. Okay, based on this observation, one of the following statement is correct. Okay, which one of the following is correct? A, X is dominant over Y. Okay, B says X is epistatic to Y. C says Y is dominant over X. And D says Y is epistatic to X. Okay, great. Now, okay, I can see options. Most of you are saying option B, that is X is epistatic to Y. And one person is saying, online edu is saying option D, that is Y is epistatic to X. Okay, let's see how it goes. This says that when locus X is inactivated, locus Y is triggered. It means that whichever gene is present at locus X, देखो genetics की बात है, right? So locus X is a location on a chromosome, and on this location there will be a gene, say gene X. Okay, so similarly at locus Y there is gene Y. Okay, now suppose that gene X is inactivated. When this is inactivated, then only gene Y is what? It is transcribed, or you can say it is active. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि when gene X is active, तो gene Y is not active, है ना? क्योंकि इन लोगों ने लिखा है only, correct? So when gene X is active, gene Y is not active. Only when gene X is not active, then only in that case only gene Y can be transcribed or it remains active. इसका मतलब ये है ना कि X is superseding Y, correct? X is superseding Y. Great. So ये दोनों options तो नहीं होगा. Y is dominant over X या Y is epistatic to X, ये option तो हो ही नहीं सकता, right? Why? देखो कुछ लोगों को epistasis में भी थोड़ा doubt हो सकता है. Let me tell you. Epistasis, ये जो word है ये दो word का बना हुआ है. EP का मतलब होता है above and stasis का मतलब होता है to sit. So this word is like to sit upon, right? To sit upon. It means you are sitting over something and suppressing it. Getting it? So if one gene is epistatic to other, it means that gene is suppressing the activity of the other gene. Here, if we see, X gene is sitting over Y and it is suppressing the activity of Y. When this X is removed or inactivated, then only Y can express itself. Correct? So the correct option is option number B, that is X is epistatic to Y. Now, if we are talking about this, there is a peculiar case. Okay, there is a peculiar case of epistasis, okay, that we have already studied in the case of flower color inheritance of Lethyrus odoratus. Correct? आप लोग को पहले जो पिछली क्लास हुई थी हमारी, when we have discussed about this 2019 paper, there also I have discussed the whole mechanism of flower color inheritance in Lethyrus odoratus, which is a characteristic example of the epistasis, right? So now this is the case of flower color inheritance in Lithyrus odoratus. Okay, there we have already spoken that there are two genes. Yes, Khesari ka dal, very good, Akhil. Okay, so there are two genes called gene C and gene P. Okay, and there is a case of epistasis. Well, that is one thing. So it's good that you all remember those things. And we have discussed about gene interactions in detail. And we have seen different kind of gene interactions, both interallelic and intraallelic. Again, if you are missing it, or if you have not attended those classes, you want to learn about them, you go back to our videos where we have discussed about the Mendelian genetics, and in particular about the gene interactions, okay? And whenever there is gene interaction, the Mendelian genetics fails, right? So we have spoken of interallelic and intraallelic inheritance, which has given rise to phenomena like incomplete dominance, the case of codominance, okay? The case of epistasis and other things, correct? So this all we have seen. Great. So if you guys have any doubt or you want to learn more about them, I would advise you to go and revise them. Great. And genetics is one topic where you can score a lot, plus it helps you to understand a lot of concepts. These days, a lot of questions are being asked from them, obvious reasons, because genetics is playing a key role. Now let me tell you how it is playing a key role these days. Recently there was the case of sickle cell anemia treatment using genetics, okay? So using genetics, we have already treated sickle cell anemia with the help of biotechnology. We have used a particular technique called gene editing, okay? There is a particular technique called CRISPR in gene editing, which is very precise, and using that we have been able to cure a genetic disease, right? So it is very much important. It's playing a lot of significant role these days, so very important. Keep studying about them. Great. Okay, moving on to question number 55. Now this question says, which one of the following sequence represents the correct taxonomic hierarchy? Okay, what are the options here? See, the options are species, genus, family, order. Second is order, genus, family, species. Species, order, genus, family, or species, genus, order, family. Which is the correct option here? Can we have quick comments? Okay, A. What about others? A. Now see, when we are talking about taxonomical hierarchy, right? What is it? Hierarchy, you know, right? So for taxonomy, we have created different taxons, mainly 7 taxons, and these taxons have been arranged on the basis of their number of organisms present in each one of them, okay, in a particular order of seniority, right? This order is known as taxonomical hierarchy, and what this order is, this order says on top is kingdom, then kingdom goes to phylum or division, okay? Now, let me tell you, phylum is used for animals and division for plants. Then it goes to class, order, family, genus, and species. Okay? So, this is the order. Kingdom, phylum, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. Now looking at this order, which one should be the correct option? A. Species, genus, family, order. Correct? Okay, very easy questions, correct. Okay. Straightforward, but again, you need to know the correct order. Let's move on to the question number 56. Now this question is, which one of the following organ is not a site for the production of white blood cells? Okay, what should be the correct option here? Now this is a tricky question. What should be the correct option? Option B. Akhil saying option number B, that is kidney. Okay. Any other? Akhil, A is bone marrow. Yeah, A is bone marrow. Yeah, there is spelling mistake. It is bone marrow. Bone marrow, correct. Yeah. Great, yes. So most of you are saying B, that is kidney, and that is the right answer, right? See, bone marrow is the site of both RBC, WBC, as well as platelet formation in adults, right? During childhood or during the embryonic conditions, the blood is also formed in liver and spleen, right? Therefore, kidney should be the correct option here. Correct? Yeah, kidney is the right answer. Very good. Well done, all of you. Okay. Now, let me tell you one more thing. The organs where blood cells are formed, okay, इन सबको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? We call it hemopoietic tissue. We call it hemopoietic tissue or organ. Okay, the process of blood formation is called hemopoiesis. Okay, the site of hemopoiesis is called hemopoietic tissue or hemopoietic organ, right? So this question can be rephrased as, which one of the following is a hemopoietic organ, or which one of the following is not a hemopoietic organ, right? The option will be again, the answer would remain the same. Great. Okay. Very good. Well done. Let's move to the next question. The next question is question number 57, and it is about plant physiology, right? This question says, okay. Akhil is asking, are there only 3 organs? No, Akhil, there are others as well. In early embryonic condition, even the placenta is the site of hemopoiesis, okay? But that was not in the option, so I have not elaborated on that. And mostly this embryogenesis is something which has never been asked in KVPY, so it is not in your syllabus. That's why I'm not talking about that, okay? But apart from these 3, there are other hemopoietic organs as well. Great. Okay. Question number 57, which one of the following anatomical structures is involved in guttation? Okay. Akhil is saying B, hydrathodes. What about others? Sushweta, Agrim. Okay, online edu. He is saying B, hydrathodes. Yes, correct. So the correct option is obviously the hydrathodes. Okay, hydrathodes, the name is telling you a lot of things. Okay, hydra, this is coming from hydro, and that is for water, and thodes are the pores. Okay, so on the leaf, if you look at leaf, okay, on the margins of leaves there are certain pore-like structures, openings, okay? There are these pore-like openings on the margin of the leaf, that is on the leaf blade, and these pores are called hydrathodes, okay? From these pores, in the early hours, you can find a liquid droplet hanging, okay? So water is being lost in the droplet form, and this phenomena is known as guttation. So guttation is happening via hydrathodes is the correct option. Well done. So let's move. Okay, Akhil is saying guttation, loss of water from leaves in the form of droplets in water when water transpiration is less than root pressure. Yeah, very good, absolutely correct. So guttation occurs because of the difference in the root pressure and the rate of transpiration. So when rate of transpiration is less as compared to root pressure, that is, root is pushing more water, but less water is being lost in the form of water vapor through transpiration. So what will happen to the extra pressure? Extra pressure would cause some of the water droplets to be removed via the hydrathodes, and this is known as guttation. Okay, it only happens in herbaceous plants. You will never observe in taller plants. Why? Root pressure is a weak force, so it can only pump water few centimeters above the soil. Right? That's why it is only observed in case of herbaceous plants and not in tall trees or shrubs. Right? Yaad rakhna, guttation is only found in herbs. Okay, great. Let's move on to question number 58. Now this question is, which one of the following part of the eye is affected in cataract? Again, very straightforward question. Can we have the answer, please? Can we have the answer? The options are cornea, conjunctiva, retina, lens. Okay. Akhil is saying D, lens. Okay. Online Edu is saying D, lens. Susweta is saying Sashakt is saying D. Okay. Really? Cataract? हिंदी में मोतियाबिंद बोलते हैं. Is it because of lens? Acha, so Shweta is asking, what is conjunctiva? Okay, what is conjunctiva? So Shweta, if you look at your eyes closely, there is a small, thin and delicate membranous structure which is close to this area. Okay, this region here in this notch region, you can find a little thin, delicate membranous structure that is conjunctiva. Now in humans, it is very reduced. It is highly reduced. It is a vestigial organ for us. Okay, if you look in reptiles like crocodiles, okay, they have very developed conjunctiva. Okay, so when they open their eyelid, there is a layer, okay, in between the environment and your cornea, and this is conjunctiva. It acts as a shutter that cleans your eyes, correct? So that is called conjunctiva. In humans it is reduced, that's why we won't see it, or even if we see, we don't admire it. Okay, cataract. See, that happens mainly because of your cornea. Okay, why? See, the lens is a crystalline structure. There is no change in there. What happens is, just outside the lens, if you look at the structure of human eye, this is lens. Okay, this is lens. Okay, and this lens is hanging with the help of ciliary muscles. Okay, and suppose there is this ciliary muscle. Outside to this layer, okay, and there is another, maybe I'm taking another color here. This is the iris, and then there is another this layer. Right? This is cornea. Here there is a fluid called aqueous humor. This is iris. Okay. This is known as pupil. This is lens, ciliary muscle, ciliary body. Okay. And then there is here, from this layer to this layer, there is retina. Okay. So lens appears cloudy. But lens में clouding नहीं होती अखिल. Okay. It is here on the corneal layers. Okay. Here's in the corneal layers. यहाँ के cells जो हैं इनमें clouding होती है. Lens में clouding नहीं होती है. Right. Therefore, by treating the cornea, you can treat the person of cataract. Okay. Great. Okay. Let's move to the next question. That is question number 59. Now, 59 question, it is about which one of the following organism is a bryophyte. Okay. Now, this is a question from plants. Okay. We know that plants can be classified into, plants can be classified into many groups like thallophyta, है ना, बस याद रखिए आप लोग, thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Okay. So plants can be classified into all of these. अब इसमें से हम लोग example देखना चालू करते हैं. Liverwort, it is a bryophyta. Liverwort is a bryophyte. Volvox is a member of thallophyta. Chlamydomonas किसका member है? Thallophyta. And fern is a member of pteridophyta. Okay? Correct? Great. So everybody has given the right answer. A. Very good to see that. Okay? Yep. So the correct answer is liverwort. Now, let me also tell you a few more things. Liverwort. Liverwort. है ना? Why it is called so? Because the main body is lever shaped. है ना? इसको हम लोग हिपैटिकॉप्सिडा भी बोलते हैं. Hipaticopsida. Okay, remember, hepato word is used for liver, right? So या तो liverwort लिखे या फिर hipaticopsida लिखे. Both are the same things. Just keep in mind. What are the other examples of liverwort? Rixia and Markensia. Okay, these are the two characteristic examples of liverwort. ठीक है? Okay, since we are talking about bryophytes, let me tell you, bryophytes are commonly known as moss. Great. Okay, very good. Let's move to the next question. That is question number 60. Question number 60. Now this question is, during oogenesis in mammals, the second meiotic division occurs. A. Before fertilization. B. After implantation. C. Before ovulation. D. After fertilization. What should be the correct option? फटाफट comment कीजिए. What is your doubt, Akhil? Can we go to doubt? Yeah. So everybody is saying option D. Great. I will go with the audience poll, right? It's the correct one. So the correct answer is after fertilization. See, how it happens is, when we look at the oogenesis now, primary oocyte undergoes first reduction division, or I should say meiosis 1, and forms the secondary oocyte, okay, plus a polar body, smaller cell called polar body. This is the first polar body, okay, and the secondary oocyte later on matures into ovum. Okay, this ovum is released during ovulation and goes okay, I'm coming to that, Akhil, give me a moment. Okay, so secondary oocyte forms the ovum, and then this ovum goes and meets with the sperm. Okay, now with the help of sperm's centriole, the secondary oocyte of the ovum completes its meiosis 2. अब यहाँ पे क्या complete होगा? Meiosis 2. Secondary oocyte, now it will form the egg cell plus one more polar body. Okay. At the same time, this first polar body also completes its meiosis 2. Okay, and it will give rise to two more polar bodies. So there will be overall 3 polar bodies and one egg cell. And then this egg cell will participate in fertilization. Okay, therefore the correct option is D. Very good. Achha, Akhil has this doubt, sir, Chlamydomonas is unicellular Monera or Thallophyta? Great. See, Chlamydomonas is a eukaryotic organism. Okay, it is an eukaryotic organism, therefore it cannot be a member of Monera, right? However, it is photosynthetic, eukaryotic and unicellular. Therefore, as for the R.H. Whitaker's 5-kingdom classification, now we have classified it under kingdom Protista. Okay, under kingdom Protista. However, whenever we study algae, okay, we also incorporate the unicellular algae. ठीक है, इसीलिए मोस्टली जब हम लोग बात करते हैं तो एल्गी की प्लांट में, जब थैलोफाइटा की बात करते हैं, एल्गी की बात करते हैं, वी स्टडी द यूनिसेलुलर एल्गीज अलोंग विथ इट, है ना. बट स्ट्रिक्टली इन ट्रू सेंस दे आर अ मेंबर ऑफ प्रोटिस्टा. ओके अखिल, इज इट नाउ क्लियर? There is only one exception to this rule, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay, despite being unicellular eukaryotic organism, it is not a protista but a member of fungi. Okay, yep. Great. So the correct option is D here. Let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is going to be from part 2, biology. Okay, and as you know, these questions are going to be of 2 marks each. Great, and there will be 5 questions. Let's move. The first question here is, a cell weighing 1 milligram grows to double its initial mass before dividing into 2 daughter cells of equal mass. Okay. Okay. Right. Assuming no death, at the end of 100 divisions, what will be the ratio of mass of the entire population to these cells to that of mass of Earth? Assume that mass of Earth is 10 to power 24 kg and 2 to power 10 is approximately equal to 1000. Okay, let's see. We have already done it, okay, but we will do that maths again. I can see Akhil is saying C. Okay, C. So they are asking the ratio of the mass, right? What is the question asking? It is asking ratio, right? किसका रेशियो पूछ रहा है? mass of bacteria upon mass of earth, right? This is what is being asked, and it has been given mass of bacteria तो हमें calculate करना है. Okay, mass of earth has been given as 10 to power 24 kg. Great, very good. Mass of bacteria calculate करना है, and for that we have been given the mass of one bacteria, right? One bacteria कितना है? 1 milligram. This is what is given. So what we have to actually find out is number of bacteria. Number of bacteria after how many? 100 divisions. After 100 divisions. Now let me tell you, when we look at the bacterial growth curve, the bacteria division is 2 to power n. It follows the 2 to power n rule, right? Where 2 to power n rule, where n is equal to number of divisions. N is equals to number of divisions. Okay, great. ठीक है, अब देखो नंबर ऑफ डिविजन्स की अगर हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं 100 डिविजन्स होना है, यानी कि वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट 2 टू पावर 100 एंड इट हैज बीन गिवन 2 टू पावर 100 कितना होना चाहिए? सॉरी 2 टू पावर 10 हमें दिया हुआ है. ओके, ये हमें कैलकुलेट करना है. 2 टू पावर 10 इज 1000. दिस हैज बीन गिवन, राइट? हम इसको क्या लिख सकते हैं? 2 टू पावर 10 टू द पावर 10 लिख सकते हैं, करेक्ट? यानी कि वी कैन राइट 1000 to power 10, and this you can calculate. Now you can take the ratios as well. The correct option should be, देख लो, so this will be 10 to power 13, right? टेन टू पावर 30, करेक्ट? हमारा है क्या दिया हुआ? 10 to power 24 kg. Sorry. So we have 10 to power 30 upon 10 to power 24 into 1000. Why? Because that has been given in kg, and this is now in gram. Okay, and this is in milligram. तो ये कितना हो जाएगा? 10 to power 27 gram, and this will be 10 to power 27. So the answer will be C1. इसमें कोई दिक्कत है? Yes. So all of you who have given C is the correct answer. इसमें आपको करना क्या था? थोड़ा सा मैथ्स करना था. बायोलॉजी के पर्सपेक्टिव से आपको क्या जानना था? Is bacteria follows 2 to power n rule of division, where n is equals to number of divisions. Right? तो कभी भी ऐसा पूछे कि after a certain time what will be the number of bacteria, the answer would be from this rule. है ना? जो भी आपका इनिशियल नंबर है 2 to power n करिए. n कैसे निकलेगा? n will be time given upon doubling time. Upon doubling time, right? So suppose करो कि एक बैक्टीरिया है जिसका doubling time dt is 20 minutes, right? तो 1 घंटे में 1 hour में वो कितने बार डिवाइड करेगा? 3 times. So n will be 3. समझ में आ रहा है? एक बैक्टीरिया लिया आपने which has a doubling time of 20 minutes and you have left it to grow for 1 hour. So in 1 hour it will make 3 generations. So at the end of 1 hour it will be having 2 to power 3, that is 8 bacterium. समझ में आ रहा है? So this is how we calculate about the number of bacteria when doubling time is given, or when total time has been given, or if the number of divisions has been given. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, again, very good question. It says, papaya is dioecious species with XY sexual genotype for male. Okay, तो हम यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं किसकी? papaya की. And we are saying the male tree has XY and the female tree has XX. Sorry. Yeah. What will be the genotype of the embryos and endosperm nuclei after double fertilization? ठीक है? What will be the genotypes? चलो. Genotypes of the embryos and endosperm. See, in order to answer such questions, हम लोगों को क्या देखना होता है? Yeah, people are saying C. Let me see. 100% ovules will be XXY and endosperm will be XX embryo. Really? Akhil? Agrim, you guys are saying C. Let us see. देखते हैं हम लोग. देखो. Embryo. Embryo किससे बनता है? By the fusion of male and female gametes. Right? अब male gamete होगा तो it could be either having X or it could have Y. अगर female gamete है तो दोनों क्या होगा? XX. इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. तो जो embryos हैं वो क्या हो सकते हैं? Embryo could be XX, XX or XY, XY. That is 50% XY and 50% XX. Correct? So when we are talking of embryo, 50% XX and 50% XY. What about endosperm? देखो endosperm बनता है कैसे? By the fusion of two male gametes. Sorry, second male gamete and two polar nuclei, जिसको कि हम लोग secondary nuclei भी बोलते हैं. Right? This all you know? Great. Okay. So what will happen? This male gamete can either be X or Y, and the polar nuclei would be XX only. So what should it be? Either XXX 50% or it should be another 50%. Now look at the options. Look at the options. 50% ovules would have XXX endosperm and XY embryo, while other 50% would have XXY endosperm and XX embryo. So the correct option is option A. You guys are revising it. Please pay close attention to it, right? Even the D option is the same thing, है ना? तो either A or D. ये same option इन लोगों ने लिख दिया है. एक second, just a minute. D. Now, because of this. Why? Because if X male gamete is fusing, then it will form either XX endosperm or XX embryo. If Y will be fusing, then this case. Okay, so A or D थोड़ा close है, आपको you have to pay attention. Option D is the correct one. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is something about enzymes. Let's see, solid and dotted lines. Okay, solid and dotted lines represent the activity of pepsin and salivary amylase enzymes of the digestive tract respectively. Which one of the following graphs best represent activity versus pH? देखो enzymes के साथ क्या होता है ना, enzymes जो होते हैं वो protein के बने होते हैं. Okay, and as you increase or decrease the pH, their structure is lost. That is called denaturation. As a result, the enzyme activity is lost. ठीक है? So either you increase or decrease, the activity will be lost. ठीक है? So what do you see here is option A should be the correct one. ठीक है? Option A should be the correct option. ठीक है? As you increase or decrease the pH, the activity is lost, and at a particular pH, see this pH, the activity is maximum. This pH is known as optimum pH of that enzyme. Okay, great. Let's move to the next question. That is question, if the gene pool of locus X in human genome is 4, then what would be the highest possible number of genotypes in a large population? ठीक है? तो इन्होंने बोला है कि एक जीन है, उसके लोकस पे there could be 4 different types. It means क्या है? It means that there are 4 alleles of this gene. 4 alleles of this gene. Okay? 4 alleles हो सकते हैं. Now, if you look at 4 alleles, it means that at 2 positions, first and second position, there could be first allele or second or third or fourth. So there is 4th probability. Here also 4 probability. So overall genotypes that is possible is 4 to power 2, that is 16. So the correct answer is D, 16. The last question talks about match the plant hormones, okay, with their functions, right? Now, straightforward है ये, abscisic acid, ethylene, cytokinin, and gibberellin, okay? Great. Okay. And the options given are in this form. Okay? Now, let's talk about the options. See, ethylene, you know, that promotes fruit ripening. Okay? Great. Now, you know abscisic acid, gibberellin. Gibberellin promotes seed germination. Okay? Cytokinin, it inhibits leaf senescence. Abscisic acid, okay, promotes or maintains the seed dormancy, great, or yeah, abscisic acid actually leaf senescence को promote करता है, inhibit नहीं करता. So what should be the correct option? You know Q is 4, so these two, okay. R, S, so option number A, right? P is saying, sorry, what it is, just a minute. Sorry, B, not A, it is B. Okay, so P2, that is, it maintains seed dormancy. Q is going to promote fruit ripening. R, cytokinin, it inhibits leaf senescence. And S is for 3, that is, it promotes seed germination. So, ऐसे question के लिए आपको क्या करना है? You have to study the phytohormones that you have already done in class 10th. ठीक है? Again, बहुत ही straightforward होता है ये. कुछ peculiar characteristics होते हैं हर एक phytohormone के. उनको आपको याद रखना है, and that will be sufficient for you, like auxine apical dominance, right? And promotes the lateral dominancy, lateral bud dormancy in case of potato. Gibberellin, it promotes the bolting effect, okay? Cytokinin, overall, growth of the plant and branching, that is the antagonistic effect of apical dominance. Ethylene, fruit ripening, abscisic acid, senescence or leaf falling, right? So just have a look on that and that will be sufficient. Great. Okay, so this is it. These were the 5 questions of part 2. We have done both part 1 and part 2 of 2019 paper. In some other session, we will be doing the biology section of 2018 KVPY SA paper. Great. So thank you very much. We will meet again in the next session with new paper. Thank you.